Welcome to the Path Podcast, where we will travel the lives of some bold women, from dreams to detours to destiny. She did not choose this path. This path chose her. This is the Path Podcast. Welcome back, Path listeners, to the Path Podcast. This is the final episode of 2022, and I am so excited that you're here with me again, your sister, your motivator, your confidence builder, the one who believes that purpose is bigger than obstacles. Let me thank you again for all who have stuck in there with me in 2022, and I hope that you will join us again in 2023. We have a lot to look forward to. I can't wait to start 2023. We'll do something differently, but a lot will still stay the same. We will still talk to different guests, but I really want to concentrate on being just authentically who you were called to be. That's what I want to dig more into, the path of self, of becoming who you're called to be. The one that you've silenced, the one that you just push to the side, the one that you're probably being an imitation of someone else. Ladies, you were called to be just who you are. I am called to be who I am. I can't be anyone else but Arlene. And I want all of us to start just living that way and being happy just being who you were called to be, because that is enough. I hope you know. I will dig more into all of that in the first episode of 2023, which will be the start of season 3. So if you haven't done so already, click and subscribe and follow the Path Podcast so you don't miss an episode. To end the year out for today in this episode, though, I wanted to come in and do something that I tried to do in the start of October normally, because we all know in business it's like the fourth quarter of the year. So we should always start reflecting on the year, what we did right, what we didn't do right, and just do like a self-evaluation. And today we're going to reflect, renew, and reset. When we reflect, we're thinking deeply and carefully about things that's happened, like I said before. When we renew, we resume an activity after an interruption sometimes in our lives, and it can sometimes be simple things. Not everything is traumatic and painful, as we talk about a lot of times here on the Path Podcast. But some things we definitely always have to resume after it's happened. And they can be simple things. Like me, I've picked up another 5 to 10 pounds that, not saying I didn't need to lose more, but I need to get those extra 5 or 10 pounds off that I've gained. So I'm in a period of renewing my eating habits and checking everything out, and putting some I need to start exercising again, that I kind of stopped for a while now. But we also need to reset. We need to set again and do things differently. For me, it will be that eating better and exercising again. So let's briefly dig into each one of these topics. When we do a self-reflection, it requires us getting quiet with our thoughts. I know that's hard for some of us to do. It's hard because of the things that our mind would bring back that's happened over the course of the year or our life if we haven't dealt with some things. But it also is hard because we're busy. We're busy moms, we're wives, we're business owners. Some of us are working our jobs, trying to do a side hustle. And a lot of us we're busy just on our phones, social media. So it's sometimes hard to just get away and just sit and think. But it's something that is very necessary that we always do. 2020, I believe, made every person do that in one way or another. But now we need to, again, everything is open back up. We are moving as we have prior to 2020. But we have to make a conscious effort to get quiet and reflect over our lives. It's needed for us to change and grow and remove some things in our life that is not serving us or helping us to be who we were really called to be. When we self-reflect, we think over and think back on all that has happened, our achievements, the moments that everything changed that marked a very painful event that will forever change your life. And some are hard, like we said before, but we need to deal with it in order for us to move forward. Start with getting in a quiet place and just, as past guests have said, and just close your eyes, take deep breaths, hold them in for 30 seconds, and release slowly. That's a start. If you can only do 1 minute because you can't get away from the children, just do the minute. If you go in a private spot, you go take a bath or a shower, that's a good way of doing it. Close the door. If you can't do that, then still just take a minute when you're just sitting, when everyone is asleep, before you lie down at night, and just take those deep breaths in and out so your mind can get quiet. I must admit, it's challenging for me to do that because sometimes it's like my mind is raging like a sea, and I have to talk myself down like to get quiet. Some of us, it's challenging to do that. I wonder sometimes, like, why can't my mind quiet itself? What is the problem with me? But then I've learned too that sometimes some things takes time. As I learn and make this a routine, it will become a habit for me. And I'll learn how to quiet my mind quietly so I can hear. For me, it's God, so I can hear him talking to me, so I can move and do the things that I believe he's calling me to do in this world or in my life. And as we all self-reflect, this is a time for us not to judge our past choices, but just to reflect on them, learn from them, and make the necessary changes, as I've said before. And please give yourself grace. Give yourself grace as you move forward. Okay, as we move into how we renew ourselves, renewing ourselves is like a rebirthing of sort. As we reflect on what we needed to change, we know the things that we have to remove, that we need to stop doing in order for new things and thoughts to begin. Most people think January 1st is the best time to start renewing or looking over their lives and changing things. But I'm here to say it can start in any moment you realize you need to change something. Why not start today? 2 days before the new year arrives, it's no better time. Even if it was September 2nd, we should start anytime again when we know it's time for us to change something. Renewal is not always easy either, but anytime we know something will improve our health, our livelihood, or family, we definitely know it's worth the struggle. Just like reflection, meditation is a start to mastering your renewed self. For some, you just may need a vacation. Some clean up your space or just pull away from your laptop and or social media for a set time. Or find that thing you once loved doing when life was simpler, like when you were a child or a teen with no major responsibilities, but just enjoying self. Sometimes we need to go back to those old thoughts and hobbies and before we got really super busy with life. There are no magic pills for renewal, especially in a world that is spinning so fast. I hope during the holidays you found some time to help fill up and renew yourself. But if you haven't, start today. And as you start today, you will start to reset and do things differently. We will do some of the same things as we reset that we've done when we reflect and renew. I read an article in U.S. News telling us how we can reset, and it gave some great suggestions that I will share with you. That I've changed a few of them, but basically all of these came out of the U.S. News article. It says, anchor your day with a morning routine. What better way to start resetting than changing some of the things or adding some wonderful routines into your new schedule? Sometimes it's getting up earlier, 10 to 15 minutes for some. Another suggestion was to take an in-depth relationship inventory. Wow, can't we all do that? You know those relationships, whether family, friends, co-workers that are not serving you, and bringing positivity into your life. Although all the suggestions are very important, this is very critical to anyone's self evaluation in their life and in their world, because this can change how you see yourself, even with the relationships you surround yourself with. Another way of resetting is, eating better and exercising. When required, again, seek therapy. And I've heard that there are mental health apps out there today. I have not seen one or know of any, but I'm sure there are great apps out there. Just do your due diligence with researching everything you try. And the last three I will mention are three also that are very important. Remember to be kind to yourself. Look for light and hope at the end of whatever life-altering event you're dealing with, and hang in there. No matter what you're going through, you can come through anything that you're dealing with today. Yes, it may be hard, and it will be hard, but you can come through it. That's what you need to remember. Starting a lot of these great suggestions will be a great start to resetting your lives. So now, as we about to end the show, what's to come in 2023? Please make sure you tune in. I will go more in depth on that podcast on what to expect in the coming year. But we're going to be giving ourselves permission to be just authentically who we are, who we were called to be, and who we're supposed to be. I love something I heard Tabitha Brown say, and I quote, "Remember, the same day we plant our seeds is not the same day we eat the fruit." End quote. So as we prepare for walking this path to be authentically who we were called to be, don't beat yourself up if the next day you don't get it right altogether. It won't change overnight sometimes. Just take your time and start working on self today. Your tomorrow self will be so glad you did. Just remember one more thing. You are responsible for your own happiness. It should not come from any person or thing. You set the definition of what happiness looks like to you. Once you do that, I think you will be well on your way to your new beginning, to your authentic self, because now you're open to just being who you were really called to be. Thank you for sitting with me on this last episode of 2022. I want to thank you again for listening. Until next time, everyone, I'll see you in 2023. Thank you, everyone, for hanging with us. Don't forget to subscribe and leave a review on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google Podcasts, and other platforms, so you can stay up on our bi-weekly real conversations with these bold women. You can follow the Path Podcast on Facebook at the Path Podcast, and on Instagram and Twitter at the Path_podcast. And if you would like to be a guest on the show or have questions for a future show, you can email us at thepath4ward@gmail.com. That's thepathforward@gmail.com. And if you're looking for a speaker or you're in need of a life coach, please reach out to me. Again, at thepathforward@gmail.com or at ACKORLEH@gmail.com. Thank you. Until next time.